Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We're doing another Red Dragon today, and this match took place the same evening as the previous two on the channel, and my friends decided that I was due for a good drubbing. So this is a 1 versus 3 on a 2v2 map, Hop and Glory. I'm playing Blue Dragons just like I was during the previous game. That's a bit of a personal favorite of mine at the moment. And I have a couple different detachments, most of whom are paratroopers. And I have some ground forces headed to the northwest, some some in the northeast, some in the northwest. The initial plan is basically ignore Bravo, secure Charlie, attack Gulf, see if I can attack Foxtrot and the town in the center and secure those, while holding a rear position behind Delta and Echo. I was expecting my opponents to say, okay, well these are closer, on their side, those are the easier ones for them to attack and support directly. You don't have to deal with these two mountains, so I assumed my opponents would decide, okay, well we have 3 times as micro, let's sort of just swarm him on this side and overwhelm with more micro than he can really deal with. This is of course not what they did, so let's go ahead and get started. And you can see my opponents have also gone with a fair number of paratroopers, and there's also a lot of helicopters. Particularly ones with stingers meant to counter the helicopters and paratroopers I've been using to great effect all evening. I should have probably thought that they'd counter, the same tactics I'd used in the previous game. I didn't. So I have a seed plane out and an air superiority fighter behind it. This was hopefully meant to catch early anti-air grabs and maybe even an early bomber if I could kill it. Block 52D of course carries air-to-air missiles as well. And now we're just seeing, I'm going to switch my own perspective, just seeing those AA helicopters, and oh no, my own offensive on that town is well stymied. We do secure Delta, we do secure Gulf. This isn't really, there's not a lot here, it's just meant to be a scouting position, something that I can see out of and potentially lose slowly. But even these ones headed toward Gulf, my paratroopers get absolutely hammered by not 1, not 2, but 3 separate Stinger-carrying helicopters, just absolutely devastating. And now my JSDF Rangers are on their own in the middle of Gulf. No support. I couldn't even take this town, and I make a big mistake with one of these K1 tanks pretty soon. But yeah, bombing run missed. They have special forces in the town, and I am not feeling good about this game. I have secured Charlie, and with it comes a forward land reinforcement position, and thankfully, they haven't secured Hotel or Foxtrot, but they have secured Julia, and I'm watching this expecting an offensive to come from that side. We're going to play a little bit higher up this game because there's a lot going on in a lot of different places. Although, there is a big focus on Gulf. Now at this point, seeing what they did on this sort of their left, my right, or JSDF Rangers, I realized, okay, well this rear defensive position meant to stop any pushes past Delta was really kind of a bad idea. We need to get these things moving forward, and they will be going soon to secure Echo and Delta. I'm going to speed things up a little bit, and my bombers are once again going to make themselves known. This is really something that needs to get shut down, but I use a lot of these, and to very good effect. We've already taken out some of my opponent's AA pieces. We did lose the jet, and that seed plane's coming in, finding nothing. We do drive a couple helicopters forward, get a couple good kills. I think we just missed one on an AA piece there, and I get a little bit of scouting on his base. I see that Atacam's in the back, I see sort of where his fobs are placed, and I don't really make use of it that much in the game, but I thought I'd mention it. And this is that K1 headed forward, trying to give fire support for a potential offensive in town. I was hoping I wouldn't be seen, but there it is. There's the first shot. My weapons are jammed. This guy will be unable to defend himself, and there it is. Dead tank. Waste of 95 points. Not exactly ideal. UH-1H Huey is sort of going over, doesn't encounter any resistance, and now we get the Peace Pheasant in again, taking out that forward position. Just to switch back and show you what I'm dealing with at this point, this Gulf has been well locked down by my opponents. They have infantry in many of these different sections, BGS, Scout Infantry, but Leopard 185 is a little bit out of position for providing good fire support, and we are moving up KFV-25s with autocannons. Parmelan 2 shows them the error of their ways, and I content myself for right now sort of being contained in that south side woods. So, switching back just to my perspective, I don't really know what's going on in Echo. Now we have the Hachinana Shikis moving up. 30 points, very effective for what they are. The KBA-25 is a very nice gun, and I quite enjoy it. And I start to see, while I'm dealing with this stuff in Gulf, calling in reinforcements here comes some Vulcan guns, and oh, well, there goes my scout helicopter. So I lose sight, and that looks like the beginnings of a push from, once again, that same rather novice player was over in Juliet, so I mean, it's not how you maybe see the push in standard times, but that's how it started then. So the OH-58CS took out another scout helicopter, and if we zoom out and go to neutral, you can see I'm in a little bit of trouble. There's a lot more red than blue on the map. I've kind of taken a beating at the start, and I'm sitting there going, okay, well, this is going to be, well, just desserts for the last couple games. Even my foothold in Gulf is waning once more, and there's more infantry reinforcements coming in those TPZ Fuchs. Although I think they're actually headed toward the center of town. So I think to myself, okay, we have the Schumann here. There's something. I need AA. I need to push back these helicopters a little bit, and that BHO is perfect for the job, getting fire on the first of those OH-58CSs. And here comes a bit of a push. I moved up one of my scout vehicles with the autocannons, actually reverse moving him out of the line of fire, having disrupted a couple infantry transports. I also have a K1 moving up, and that will hide in those woods, provide very excellent fire support. I think currently taking out, it looks like, yeah, a couple of Vulcans, a couple of lighter sort of guns. And I think to myself, okay, so I can keep pushing Gulf. It seems like it's a good distraction. I need to make sure I can hold on to this, but this really doesn't seem very organized, so I'm feeling kind of confident. And we chip away at some of their equipment, but as soon as that scout vehicle dies, I move the K1 back out of the range of those ATGMs, and for right now we're safe. We have the next round of reinforcements in here, and I'm starting to really make use of Yevgen. I was really afraid of a bombing run, but I think seeing that ASF and seeing the seaplane with ASF capabilities up really did kind of scare the guy away. We have the Peace Pheasant 2 coming to take out one of the tanks there. Should have probably aimed it at the Sheridans as well, but they're cheap 35-point tanks, and it really seemed like a bit of a waste. So now I'm sort of sounding things out with Socheng Su, and I realize, okay, well, those are just Parmalons, but we have a heavy hog behind called in by Vimes, which was devastatingly effective and will use all of those rocket pods to great effect. Combined with the Sheridans, this is not getting off the ground. It was a bit of a, well, frankly, stupid idea on my part, pushing without smoke there, but, well, I thought I could get away with it, and at least the BHO does get some revenge on those heavy hogs, although they aren't very expensive helicopters either. Peace Pheasant 1 comes in, and I will switch to neutral for the bombing run yet again, because this is where everything's been firing out of. Bombs away, see what it does, and finally that Milan team is dead, but rather ineffective bombing run, if I do say so myself. Now we have a Sea Cobra over here. I can see it, couldn't do anything about it. Hachi Nanashiki has used all 390 of his autocannon rounds, and is no longer effective as a frontline unit. However, BHO was very nice. I'm getting him out of the way. That Sheridan, who's moving forward a little confidently, and we're getting a K1 up there to compensate. I have secured Bravo. They've still not secured Hotel, so I've been getting +2 ticking points for quite a while, and that's something that I think they notice pretty soon and do rectify. This is nice padding for points. I can't complain. I do have a scout vehicle in, and I think, yep, we take out some of those BGS. So the unit is still alive, which is a little bit frustrating, because as long as one's alive, they will get scouting from it. But those folks get a little too close, and we're able to take them with a Chumot. Well, at least the first one. I'm nearly running out of ammunition here, but it's a good position. It's been a little bit safe for a little too long. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't pushed anything through this town. If they had, they would have encountered extraordinarily light resistance, and I really think Gulf is just a huge distraction, and, well, that means I need to keep the pressure up. So Yevgen coming out in KM-113A1s, 5-point transports, and I'm saving up a little bit of points now. I want Yanana Yanshiki Gs out. They have 10 rounds per minute fire, which is really excellent for supporting against sort of midpoint tanks and light infantry fighting vehicles. And I see the automatic, and I'm sitting there going, okay, that will suck. And yep, sure enough, there goes another scout helicopter. I've lost about 6 of them, maybe more, but there's the seed plane, and my opponent does not turn off his radar until just then, but it's just far enough away. Yep, he survives the seed plane run. So, not good. Very nice micro on the part of, I think that was Vogel. But, yeah, we're not entirely sure. I think it was, yes. And Peace Pheasant 1 comes in, say goodbye to those Sheridans, but now we have 2 Sea Cobras up behind. They don't pay this Beho proper respect and start moving in a little bit to the side, and it begins to open up. There's 1 Sea Cobra down, and the second one I think takes a good couple shots. Yeah, but does get out of the way. So we're kind of getting secure in Echo. I brought out another K1 over there. Nanion Shiki G is going to park himself right here, expecting a push around that side of Echo, which I think does eventually come. So K1 shoots Bradley, and this is just wonderful. That's 1 ATGM. Second ATGM dodged. Oh, no, we take that one in the dump piece. We've taken a couple from the Bradley as well, I think 5 or 6 so far, coming in that K1. We've managed to clear it, and this is where being one player on a 2v2 map sort of comes to bite me a little bit. So we dodged another one. Nothing I'm doing actively for that, and I think, okay, I need to make it to the trees, and we get to the trees right in time for that double volley from the Fenix, and they go wild, but I still had him clicked when I was moving the others forward, and he moved out of the trees, and that is 1 dead tank. Unfortunately. The Yebagun aren't enough, of course, to push on their own, and the M67 Han are good support for that sort of range, but, well, when there's nothing they can see, there's nothing they can support. My opponents have secured Hotel, I've secured Echo, and we're settling in for a bit of a grind. And I think to myself, okay, what are my problems? 1, I need to secure Golf, if I can. 2, I need to clear out this town. 3, ideally I'd be able to push on Juliet, but it doesn't really seem super worth it. I don't know, the land reinforcement location would be nice, but it's not crucial. So, we have a bit of a build-up. There goes the Han to yet another heavy hog push. Beho's moving up to counter, but a little bit too late there. And here go the militia. And this is truly wonderful, I think, because it's not very many points. We were on very low income, I think, so that's why it's a little bit more manageable for me. Had the income been higher, I think I would have already lost the game. And here come the FKP, and just as a reminder, FKP, 35-point infantry, versus clumps of 5-point Yebagun with M14s left over from World War II. So the FKP get absolutely massacred by the amount of sheer supporting fire from these cheap vehicles. There's a Corsair bombing run that comes in, and because all of these things are cheap, we don't even lose that many points. Parmelan 2, another expensive team, is lost, and the Fliegerfasts as well are going to take a beating. Super Cobra and Sea Cobra support does take out some of those IFVs, and, well, it's not exactly ideal for us, but the K1 supporting fire is very, very nice. Enemy seaplane comes in, takes out Beho, took out 2, I think, and that is a bit of a nuisance. But I was distracted with this push and didn't have an ASF out. Aardvark comes in and cluster bombs nothing but infantry, so not a lot of loss there. And now we've taken out the specialist teams, and there's just BGS themselves, I think 10 points, yep, for the 5-strength recon team. So now our main obstacles are mostly helicopters and seaplanes, so I call out cheaper KM-163s. They're either 35 or 40 points, I don't quite recall, and they are non-radar. 25 points, even cheaper. Short range, but 2450 against helicopters is often good enough, and the Fliegerfaust team, somehow still alive, finally bites the bullet. So, now that I've sort of got them bogged down in this town, I'm expecting my opponents to rush to it, and of course they do, and that's fine, because this is when we can take advantage of their shift in focus to really push forward and secure Golf. So, cheap infantry goes in, bogs down this town. Now we have the expensive infantry and the expensive IFVs moving up toward Golf. We have AA coming in as support again, and yeah, they're taking this town back, but it's costing a lot of investment. Our own seaplane comes in, gets some good hits. We do lose a tank to ATGM fire, unfortunately. We almost get that Prowler, but not quite, and here it is. We're pushing into that back forest and securing it, finally. KFV-25s are extraordinarily effective, and especially so when supported by Sunshine Sioux. The artillery fire is too little too late, firing at a forest that I'm no longer reliant on, and we move the KFV-25s and K1s around the side. My intention is to distract my opponent yet again with a near suicidal push up their left flank on my right, and just look at the sheer amount of equipment here. We have light riflemen, Dragoner, Twin Hueys, Fuchs, more light riflemen, Dragoners on the way, Fennec toes, all of that. And we have a short-range artillery barrage. Not really effective, just stuns everything, slows everything down. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this town staying mired and just not productive for a while. We're still ticking at +1, and because of that early lead, we're off to 324 points to 108. And for all the KFEs and K1s, we're just able to work together to get some kills. Everything is fighting blind here. My opponents weren't expecting to fight over on this side. They don't have proper recon out quite yet. I think it is moving up. Nope, that's a resupply vehicle. And even more kills on this side. OH-60 is stunned by the automatic, and our K1 is able to answer. There it goes. KFVs take down a helicopter or two. And, I mean, these vehicles, these troops have already proven their worth before the Super Cobra is able to mostly take them down. So, at this point, I'm feeling confident enough in Golf with KM-163s in position as well, and support from my Air Force, to potentially call out a CV, and I do, and this will change us from ticking at +1 to +2 if we can swing it. Aardvark takes some shots, but not dead, unfortunately. Does escape the KF-16C, and I think to myself, well, they pushed us out, let's go back in again. So our transports are violently cluster bombed, but it's okay. Now, because we have control of Golf, and I have a Nanayan Cheeky G on the side, and the Chumat as well, we can get a little bit of long-range fire support coming in. That Leopard 1A5 DK will be a little bit outclassed here, I think, and the Fennec Toe 2s can't get close enough because of a well-positioned Beho. Super Cobra as well, and they're just getting a little bit pushed back from their forward position now that Golf is fully and completely out of their hands. It's exactly what, I mean, partial objective completion. It would have been nice to hold this side, but we didn't. And here comes a push over on my left flank. Finally, this is the newer player. Probably should have attack moved his stuff here instead of right-clicking. He did. I think he finally attack moved it there, and I do lose a K1. But I'm just moving my command infantry around to the other side of this mountain, and, well, he won't really be able to see them. And this is where the Nanayan Cheeky G comes into play. It does have that 40mm frag launcher and its main gun, and both of them to use killing transports and infantry. What it doesn't kill will stun, and the other K1 drops back and gets a crossfire going on the sides of these vehicles here in just a second. Yep. And this turns into a bit of a massacre. So the LVTPs aren't able to keep up with it. Infantry advancing across open ground is never a good idea, particularly into the maw of a grenade launcher, although he had no way of knowing that it was there previously. So there is some sympathy in that regard. But they can just all run forward, and none of them make it against the combined main gun and supporting fire. So we do kill another one of their planes, which is very nice, and these guys start to run away, but I think I call out a bomber as well as an AH-1S. I do finally lose that. That was a shot from the Atacams. And here's the bombing run. There it goes. So the entire push is just devastated. We have Yevagun moving up yet again into that main town, although the last of them is now gone. And we have a second Nanayan Cheeky G moving up as well. At this point, I'm just trying to cause panic, I guess, and distractions, and I'm making him think that I'm priming for some sort of maybe move across this bridge or this bridge here, moving to Foxtrot, more of a distraction than anything else. Leopard 1A5s, these are not in a good position. They should not be in towns. They can't really hide. They're going to get caught out. And sure enough, the Chumat fire at 1. Peace Pheasant 2s with those ATGMs able to fire at the Leopard as well. Although I do lose one of my Nanayan Cheeky Gs. Bombing run, it's kind of okay. It cleared out some of the infantry in the back there. I probably should have shown it on its way in. And I think one of my opponents at that point said, yeah, when you start getting fighter trains that long, now we know we're kind of toast. And this is the last main push of the game. 478 points for blue, 108 for red. I do move temporarily and then decide, you know what? It's worth it trying to push that up to 500. So let's go ahead and lock this down again. AH-1S coming up. Yeah, 6616 with its autocannon RH-202 model. And yeah, I mean, this is just forward pushes need tanks to anchor them, and he doesn't have one. Even a single 90, 100-point tank would have been able to fight this K1 on even footing with the support, and, well, targeting distractions on my end probably would have been a win. I do, I think, lose the AH-1S, or very nearly, because of all the Vulcans in that stack. The Fiat and the K-1 just go to town. Peace Pheasant 1 coming in, bombing run to end us out. And